In this video, I will be going over lesson 19, which is about relationships in verbal descriptions. Our first question says that an artist wants to purchase a canvas to paint on. Canvas size in square inches determines the price, and the artist purchases a 193.75 square inch canvas for $19.99. A is asking us, what does the unit rate mean in this scenario? Well, remember that it says that the size of the canvas determines the price. So the unit rate is going to be the price per square inch of canvas. So the unit rate is the price per square inch of canvas. So this is A. B is asking us, how can we calculate the unit rate? So we don't need to actually figure out what the unit rate is, we just need to know how to calculate it. Remember that anytime you have money, money should always go on top, okay? Here money is on the bottom. Nope. Here money is on the bottom. Nope. Here this is telling me that my unit rate is $19.99, but that's not true because he paid this much for a 193.75 square inch canvas, which means it has to be this one here. Okay, simply because the unit rate, or how we would solve it, this is the ratio that we would use to solve this problem. Our next question. So on Sunday, the total pollen count for ragweed in Dr. Daffodil's town is 35 parts per million. Dr. Daffodil sees 7 patients for migraines that day. On Monday, the pollen count is 445 ppm, and Dr. Daffodil sees 9 patients for migraines that day. On Tuesday, the pollen count is 85, and Dr. Daffodil sees 17 patients. In this situation, the independent variable, so your independent variable is going to be your x, okay? So your independent variable is something that it's not responsive because something else. So say like, if I'm in a car and I'm driving, I need to put gas, right? So the more I drive, the more gas I need. In that situation, your gas is your independent variable because the amount of gas you need only changes based off of how much you need to drive. So here, the more pollen that's in the air, the more patients he sees. So that makes the pollen count the independent variable. And part B wants to know the relationship between pollen count and the number of migraines is blank. So here we're asked to find the unit rate. Let's use that first one because it has the smallest numbers. So 35 parts per 7 patients. 35 parts for every 7 patients. This reduces to 5 over 1. So this means that for every 5 pieces of pollen in the air, 1 more patient will visit Dr. Daffodil's with a migraine. So for every 5 pollen particles in the air, 1 more patient will visit Dr. Daffodil. Our next problem here says that Edvin records pet adoptions at an animal shelter. He notices that for every 3 dog adoptions, there are 2 cat adoptions. Which equations describe the number of cat adoptions C based on dog adoptions D at the animal shelter? Select all that apply. Okay, so we know that there are 3 dog adoptions for every 2 cat adoptions. Okay. So it looks like in all of our answer choices, they're prioritizing 2. So we have 2 cat adoptions for every 3 dog adoptions. Okay. From here, I know that C is cat and D is dog. So if I use this equation here, this would work. This is telling me the number of cats for every 2 cats and the number of dogs for every 3 dogs. I could also use this one here, which is similar to our y equals a number times x, except the course wanted to flip the order. So instead of having our c by itself coming first, it is now coming second. So those are the 2 equations that work. Our next problem says that an apple picker harvests 84 apples from trees in an orchard, and he wants to estimate the total number of apples harvested from the orchard. Assuming the relationship is proportional, how can you write an equation to describe the relationship between T and the number of trees and A, the number of apples? Okay, well, there are 84 apples harvested from every 3 trees. So I want to pick this one here. 84 apples every 3 trees. When you are choosing this one, remember to pick the one that has A by itself and then T on the other side. Okay. And then the last one that we are going to pick here is this one. And this one in your course will look like this. A over T equals 84 over 3. I just forgot to change this one into the fraction format. So A over T equals 84 over 3. Next question says that an internet clothing company allows returns on all purchases. This month, 11,689 items were sold with 566 returns. Part A is asking which ordered pair represents the unit rate for this situation. This one is a bit tricky because we're asked which one is the unit rate. Okay, so that means that we need to have a 1 in our x. So I need to have a 1 here and then some number for my y. So this one and this one are both out because they do not have a 1 for our x. Then if I think about it, 566 over 11,689. Okay, so that would be my ratio. And if you look at the answers, it doesn't necessarily ask me to simplify it. It's just asking me to write it as a ratio. Okay. Our next problem says that if there were 14,699 sales next month, how many items will probably be returned? Round your answer to the nearest whole number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 566 over 11,689 and I'm going to actually divide those out. Remember, please use your calculator for this. It will save you a ton of time. And I get 0.048. From here, actually, I don't know if I'm going to use that. I don't necessarily think that's going to help us here. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this to you. And oh, actually, I think I can use that one. I apologize. No, it won't work. So for this question, the reason why I'm struggling is because the best way to solve this is using cross multiplication and then solving for our unknown. However, the course was redone and the order of in which we are doing assignments now, you don't know how to do that yet. So I'm just going to tell you the answer is 712 because that's like a whole nother entire unit. So unfortunately, just trust me, it's 712 items. Our next question says the use of a new traffic camera on a highway results in 12 speeding tickets issued every 2 hours. The relationship between H, time elapsed in hours, and T, number of tickets issued, is represented by the equation blank. Using this equation, you can determine that approximately 50 speeding tickets will be issued after blank hours. Select two answers, one for blank 1 and one for blank 2. Okay, so blank 1 is asking us for the equation. Okay, and for our equation, I have 12 speeding tickets every 2 hours. So that simplifies to 1 over 6. The equation that we want to use here is this one right here that has h over t, and that's equal to 1 over 6. For blank 2, we want to know approximately how many speeding tickets will be issued after 50, or how many tickets will be issued after 50 speeding tickets. So if I have h over t, and that's equal to 1 over 6, 50 represents the amount of tickets, t. So I'm going to replace this t with 50. Okay. And again here, the best way to solve this would again be using cross multiplication and then solving. However, we have not gone over that yet, and I don't want to throw that at you now. So our answer would be 8 and 2/6. All right. If you have questions or need help on this checkpoint, please let me know. Other than that, thank you for watching.